Both the Spurs and Pistons, two once legendary franchises, find themselves nearing NBA history once again, except this time for all the wrong reasons. The Pistons' last win came during the opening week of this season all the way back in October 28. The Spurs are on a 17-game losing streak and haven't won a game since November 2. But maybe the spotlight should be on both Popovich and Monty Williams, who were great coaches but became extremely overpaid and now hold the two worst records in the whole NBA for the Spurs and Pistons respectively. Just an update, the Spurs finally won a game and beat the Lakers on Friday, snapping their 17-game losing streak. The Pistons are 2-24, while the Spurs are 4-21. This season has already been so brutal for Monty's career coaching record. Prior to the season, as a head coach, Monty Williams had a win percentage of 52.2%. Since their 2-21 start, his career coaching percentage has already fallen to 50.8%. Keep in mind, this has only been 23 games for the Pistons. Out of 726 games he's head coached, Monty Williams was building a strong coaching legacy prior to this, with 2 National Basketball Coaches Association Coach of the Year awards and an NBA Coach of the Year for the 2021-2022 season. It's understandable why Monty was brought on. The Pistons have had a losing identity and culture for a long time now and needed to pay a winning coach to come in and turn things around. Similarly, the Rockets really believed in Ime Udoka to be that catalyst and so paid him reportedly around $28.5 million for 4 years. As of 2023, Udoka will earn $6.75 million and he receives an annual increment of $250,000. This is, however, much less than Monty. In fact, over half his yearly salary, except Udoka has shown promising results already, as the Houston Rockets currently hold the 9th seed in the West. Monty Williams, however, signed a 6-year, $78,500,000 contract with the Detroit Pistons, including an annual average salary of $13,083,333. Gregg Popovich has had one of the greatest, if not greatest, coaching careers in NBA history, winning 5 NBA championships and won 3 NBA Coach of the Year awards. It's really unfortunate if Popovich has to retire losing like this, but he also did just sign the largest NBA coaching contract in NBA history. Popovich is a legend and one of the greatest NBA coaches of all time, so to stay on this tanking Spurs team, it's expected for him to receive a large compensation. But at what point should they admit something's really wrong? The Spurs drafted a player projected to be one of the greatest of all time in Victor Wembanyama, but are still somehow struggling this bad. It seems like they're still tanking with them instead of playing Trey Jones alongside him. The Spurs keep trying to run Sohan as point guard. They're wasting a year of Wembanyama's career. LeBron and Jordan all won much more in their rookie seasons than the Spurs. They shouldn't let Victor get used to losing. This used to be a championship organization after all. The expectations were high from the jump and currently likely going to lose the Rookie of the Year to Chet. The Spurs really need to figure it out. The Pistons are just a disaster all around. There's no sense of direction and their pieces, while in a vacuum, seem talented individually. They just don't fit together at all.
The quick answer is obviously Troy, the players, and the money. I mean, that's something that people don't talk about. They always say it wasn't the money. I always laugh at that. I think that's disrespectful. When somebody is that generous to pay me that kind of money, one, that should be applauded, and 2, it should be talked about.
He's the second highest paid coach in not only the NBA but in NBA history. The Pistons have the worst record in the whole league. In fact, their 20 straight losses is a franchise record for a single season as well. If this year's Pistons lose one more game, they tied the 1980 Pistons, who lost 21 consecutive games, except that was over the span of 2 seasons. Spurs coach Gregg Popovich signed a historic $80 million contract extension, setting a new standard for coaching contracts. Spurs coach Gregg Popovich's new 5-year deal is worth more than $80 million with incentives. While the Pistons remain stagnant, other young teams like the Orlando Magic and Oklahoma City Thunder have made significant strides and are on track to make the playoffs as a high seed this year already. The road to infamy is still far away for Detroit to be the NBA's all-time losing streak record holder. That record still belongs to the trust the process 76ers, who lost 28 straight games spanning 2 seasons. The longest single season losing streak is 26 games, which belongs also to the trust the process 2013-14 76ers and the 2010-11 Cavaliers, the Cavaliers' first season after LeBron James left to Miami. These are the worst losing streaks in NBA history. Since the making of this video, the Pistons have now lost even more, having now lost 23 straight games, 5 losses away from the all-time mark for consecutive losses. The Pistons' schedule will get a bit easier now, though, so there's a much better chance now to break their losing streak within the next 5 games. The Hawks and Jazz are below 500 teams currently, so this should be their best opportunity to break their losing streak. It's just ironic to see that the two highest paid coaches in the NBA and all of NBA history now have the worst records in the league. It seems to be a formula that leads to losing, and maybe teams will start recognizing this quickly now. Do you think a coach will now get a contract bigger than theirs, especially considering how these two contracts are panning out? Let me know in the comments if you think Monty and Popovich are to blame and should be held accountable, or if they just need a better roster. Remember to like and subscribe. Also check out one of my other videos on the screen above.